Welcome to Anime Chronicles, the channel where we bring to life the full story of every anime character and beyond. Today, we'll dive deep into the legacy of Venusaur. From its role in the Pokémon anime and manga, to its impact across generations of games, and the hidden curiosities that make it such an iconic Pokémon. If you love exploring the origins and history of your favorite characters, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us on this journey through the world of anime and Pokémon! Venusaur, known in Japan as Fushigibana, is the final evolution of the very first Pokémon in the National Pokédex line, beginning with Bulbasaur, Sao 1, and Ivysaur, Sao 2, culminating in Venusaur, Sao 3. Its legacy is deeply tied to the very identity of the Pokémon franchise, not only because of its place in the Pokédex, but also because of the cultural weight it carries as one of the three original fully evolved Kanto starters. Alongside Charizard and Blastoise, Venusaur became one of the iconic faces of the Pokémon Red, Green, and Blue versions released in Japan and internationally. Interestingly, in Japan's Pokémon Green version, Venusaur was actually the mascot of the cover art, making it the very first final evolution of a starter Pokémon to be spotlighted on a game box. While international players often associate Charizard with the early series covers, Japanese fans always had a special bond with Venusaur as the true face of Pokémon's first chapter. From a biological standpoint, Venusaur is classified as the seed Pokémon. It stands at about 2 meters tall and weighs around 100 kilograms. Its design takes inspiration from both plant and animal traits, symbolizing the close connection between flora and fauna. The massive flower blooming on its back is not just decorative. In the lore of the Pokémon world, this plant absorbs energy from the sun and converts it into nourishment for Venusaur's body. The relationship between Pokémon and plant is symbiotic, suggesting that the creature could not survive without the flower, and vice versa. The flower blooms fully only when Venusaur reaches its final stage of evolution, representing maturity and strength. This ties into its Pokédex entries, many of which highlight its ability to harness solar energy through photosynthesis, granting Venusaur a deep bond with sunlight and nature. In terms of evolution, Venusaur represents growth and balance. Bulbasaur begins life as a small creature with a bulb on its back, nurtured by sunlight. As it evolves into Ivysaur, the bulb starts to bloom into a bud, and its physiology changes, becoming stronger and sturdier. Finally, as Venusaur, the bud blossoms into a fully grown flower, marking the peak of its natural power. The evolutionary line mirrors the stages of plant growth: seed, budding plant, and finally, a flower in full bloom. This imagery makes Venusaur a Pokémon that embodies patience, natural cycles, and the beauty of growth. Unlike Charizard, which symbolizes raw firepower, or Blastoise, which embodies defense and force, Venusaur strikes a balance, representing stability, endurance, and harmony with nature. Venusaur's role in the franchise also extends into its abilities. Since the very beginning, it has been associated with the powerful move Solar Beam, which became one of its signature techniques. By drawing energy from sunlight, Venusaur can unleash a devastating beam of concentrated solar power. This connection to the sun was reinforced in later generations with its hidden ability, Chlorophyll, which increases its speed in sunny weather, and the ability Overgrow, common to all grass-type starters, boosting the strength of its grass-type moves when in critical health. An important turning point in Venusaur's legacy came in Generation 6, when it was given a Mega Evolution in Pokémon X and Y. Mega Venusaur didn't drastically alter its appearance, but reinforced its plant-like features, adding larger petals, stronger vines, and even sturdier foliage that wrapped around its body. More importantly, its ability changed to thick fat, giving it resistance to both fire and ice-type moves, two of Grass-type's traditional weaknesses. This not only made Mega Venusaur a powerhouse in competitive play, but also cemented its role as a Pokémon of resilience, one that could withstand attacks that would normally devastate grass types. In Generation 8, Venusaur was further honored, with a Gigantamax form in Pokémon Sword and Shield. Its Gigantamax form dramatically increased the size of the flower on its back, turning it into a canopy-like structure that spread across the battlefield. This form visually emphasized Venusaur's connection to nature, making it look like a living embodiment of a jungle ecosystem. Gigantamax Venusaur also had access to a special G-Max move called G-Max Vine Lash, which dealt damage over time, reinforcing its role as a Pokémon that could both attack and control the battlefield with natural energy. Beyond mechanics, Venusaur's symbolic role in the franchise cannot be overstated. It represents the choice of players who value strategy, endurance, and a connection to nature. In many ways, choosing Bulbasaur at the start of Pokémon Red, Blue, Green, or Fire Red, Leaf Green was choosing patience and foresight, since Venusaur often became a steady, reliable partner in battle rather than a flashy powerhouse. This made it a favorite among players who appreciated subtle strength over immediate impact. Venusaur has also been a Pokémon deeply tied to themes of nature conservation and balance. Its Pokédex entries often reference its ability to heal and revitalize its surroundings, making it more than just a fighter. It's depicted as a guardian of the environment, a creature that embodies the natural cycle of growth and renewal. This gives Venusaur a unique place in the Pokémon world, not only as a battler, but as a symbol of coexistence between Pokémon, plants, and the natural world. Venusaur, the final form of the Bulbasaur evolutionary line, has had a number of memorable appearances throughout the Pokémon anime. Unlike Pikachu, Charizard, or Meowth, Venusaur was never positioned as one of the mascot Pokémon of the series, yet whenever it appeared, it left a strong impression. Its imposing design, the giant flower on its back, and the way it embodied nature's power made it stand out as a commanding presence on screen. In this part of our exploration, we will dive deeply into Venusaur's journey through the anime, spanning from the original 1997 series to more modern entries, showing how it has remained a consistent and respected symbol in the franchise. One of the earliest and most iconic anime appearances of Venusaur was in the original Kanto saga, in the episode Bulbasaur's Mysterious Garden. This episode focused heavily on Bulbasaur, who was at the time one of Ash's most loyal and stubborn partners. In this story, Ash's Bulbasaur resists evolving despite the natural call of its species. In the Mysterious Garden, filled with Bulbasaur and Ivysaur preparing to evolve, Venusaur emerges as the towering leader of the group. This Venusaur acted as a kind of guardian and overseer, directing the mass evolution ritual where the gathered Ivysaur evolved together. The scene where Venusaur roars and raises its flower to the sky, causing the bulbs and buds of the younger Pokémon to glow, was powerful and symbolic. It gave fans one of the earliest glimpses of Venusaur's role in its ecosystem and culture within the Pokémon world. This episode remains a fan favorite because it treated evolution not just as a gameplay mechanic, but as a sacred natural process, with Venusaur positioned as a figure of authority and respect. Venusaur also appeared in several battles throughout the anime. In Pokémon Indigo League, one of the most notable moments was during Ash's battle against the gym leader Erica of Celadon City. Erica used a Gloom as her main partner, but her gym was filled with Grass-type Pokémon, and a Venusaur made an appearance among them. Even though Ash never directly battled that particular Venusaur, the brief shot reinforced the image of Venusaur as the ultimate grass type, respected by trainers who specialized in that category. Its presence emphasized Erica's connection to powerful grass Pokémon, adding weight to her portrayal as a serious gym leader. Later in the anime, Venusaur reappeared in more intense scenarios. In the Johto Journeys arc, it featured in tournaments and as a Pokémon owned by skilled trainers. The sheer size and raw power of Venusaur were always emphasized, often showing it unleashing devastating moves like Solar Beam or Razor Leaf with incredible force. Whenever Venusaur appeared in battle, it was portrayed as a tank-like creature, durable and strong, yet also connected to the natural world through its plant abilities. One particularly interesting appearance came during the Battle Frontier saga. In this arc, the anime reintroduced several Pokémon from the original Kanto generation to connect with the nostalgia of longtime fans. Venusaur was shown in exhibition matches and was once again a reminder of how respected it was within the competitive scene of the anime's universe. Its flower, always fully bloomed, symbolized maturity and growth, making it a contrast to Ash's still unevolved Bulbasaur, who proudly remained in its base form. Jumping forward to the black and white anime, Venusaur continued to make cameos, though less frequently. However, it regained significant spotlight during the Kalos series with the introduction of Mega Evolution. Mega Venusaur was featured prominently to highlight this new mechanic. In episodes where Mega Evolution was explored, Venusaur was used as a demonstration of power and strategy. The anime showcased how Mega Venusaur's flower and vines became even more robust, with additional petals and foliage that gave it an even more intimidating and majestic look. Trainers who commanded a Mega Venusaur were portrayed as highly skilled, since mastering Mega Evolution required a strong bond between trainer and Pokémon. These episodes reinforced Venusaur's status as a legendary powerhouse, not just a relic from Kanto, but a Pokémon still relevant in the modern era. Another unforgettable Venusaur moment came in the Pokémon Origins Special, a retelling of the story of the original Red and Blue games. Red's Venusaur was central to his team, and in the final battle against Blue's Charizard, Venusaur fought valiantly. Although it was ultimately defeated by Charizard, the battle was symbolic of the long-standing rivalry between grass and fire starters. The way the special depicted Venusaur gave fans who grew up with the games a cinematic version of the battles they had imagined in their childhood, further solidifying Venusaur's iconic status. Beyond battles, Venusaur also played roles in more emotional contexts. For example, in episodes where nature or forests were threatened, Venusaur often appeared as a protector of the environment. This was consistent with the way Bulbasaur and Ivysaur were portrayed, but Venusaur's larger size and mature presence made it feel like the ultimate guardian of the forest. It wasn't just a fighter. It was a symbol of balance in nature. Throughout the different generations of the anime, Venusaur may not have had as much consistent screen time as Pikachu or Charizard, but every appearance it made was meaningful. Whether acting as a leader, during evolution rituals, a powerhouse in battle, or a guardian of natural balance, Venusaur always brought weight and gravitas to the story. Its anime legacy is that of a Pokémon that demands respect, representing not only strength but also the beauty and harmony of nature. Venusaur's role in the anime is one of the most important aspects of its cultural legacy. While Bulbasaur is Ash's most iconic grass-type companion, the fully evolved Venusaur has appeared in several significant moments across different generations of the Pokémon anime, often representing wisdom, strength, and the ultimate form of nature's power. One of the earliest and most memorable appearances is in the original series episode Bulbasaur's Mysterious Garden. In this episode, Ash's Bulbasaur resists evolving into Ivysaur and Venusaur. During the Evolution Festival, a sacred ritual where Bulbasaur gathered to evolve. The episode introduced fans to Venusaur as a wise leader, acting as a guardian of tradition and natural order. This Venusaur stands tall, majestic, and somewhat intimidating, guiding the mass evolution process with the flower on its back glowing brightly. The scene not only showed Venusaur's authority, but also created a deeper connection between evolution and the natural cycle. Establishing Venusaur as more than just a battle Pokémon, it is a symbol of nature's laws. Another highlight is, in Pokémon, Mewtwo strikes back. A Venusaur named Brutaroot, belonging to a trainer who challenges Mewtwo, faces off against Mewtwo's cloned Venusaur. The battle is short-lived, as Mewtwo's immense psychic power crushes Brutaroot instantly, but the scene was unforgettable for fans. It emphasized Venusaur's popularity, showing that it was a common choice for skilled trainers, and it added dramatic weight to the film by displaying its defeat against overwhelming odds. Throughout later series, Venusaur appears in multiple cameos, especially in episodes involving grass-type specialists. For example, Cylon encounters a Venusaur during his travels, and Erica, the Celadon City gym leader, is sometimes depicted with Venusaur in expanded media, even if her main ace in the games is typically a Vileplume. In the Pokémon Chronicles spin-off series, Venusaur is also showcased as part of certain trainer teams, reinforcing its reputation as a powerhouse. In Pokémon Journeys, Venusaur gained renewed attention. Ash and Go visit Cerise's laboratory, where a gigantic Dynamax Venusaur appears, tying into the new mechanics from Pokémon Sword and Shield. This version was particularly striking because of its massive glowing flower, towering over the battlefield. Dynamax Venusaur reintroduced the Pokémon to modern audiences, blending nostalgia with new gameplay mechanics. Venusaur's anime presence isn't always tied to combat. It also symbolizes environmental themes. Its flower and connection to sunlight often tie into stories about ecology, evolution, and the balance of nature. Because of this, Venusaur holds a unique place in the anime, where it is both a fighter and a protector, bridging the gap between Pokémon battles and deeper storytelling. Venusaur's history in the games is extensive, spanning from the original Pokémon Red and Blue up to the most recent installments. As the final evolution of one of the original 3 starters, Venusaur has always been considered a staple of the franchise, embodying balance between offense, defense, and utility. In the very first games, Red, Blue, Green in Japan, later Yellow, Venusaur was an incredibly strong choice. With access to powerful grass-type moves like Solar Beam, coupled with respectable bulk, Venusaur could hold its own against many opponents. Though it struggled against common threats like Charizard and powerful psychic types such as Alakazam, Venusaur's role as a reliable starter evolution made it iconic. Players who chose Bulbasaur at the beginning often found the early game easier, thanks to its advantage over Brock's rock types and Misty's water types, and Venusaur's reputation as the easy mode starter began there. As the generations progressed, Venusaur's move pool expanded significantly. In Generation 2, Gold, Silver, Crystal, Venusaur gained access to moves like Giga Drain, improving its sustainability. By Generation 3, it benefited from abilities such as Overgrow, which boosted grass-type moves when its HP was low. With the remakes Fire Red and Leaf Green, players once again experienced Venusaur's role in Kanto's journey, solidifying its presence in Pokémon history. The true turning point for Venusaur came in Generation 6, X and Y, with the introduction of Mega Evolution. Mega Venusaur transformed the Pokémon into a competitive Titan. Its new ability, Thick Fat, reduced damage from fire and ice, its 2 biggest weaknesses. This change made Mega Venusaur an exceptional tank in competitive play, capable of walling many popular threats. Combined with Leech Seed, Giga Drain, and moves like Sludge Bomb, Mega Venusaur dominated as a bulky grass poison type, balancing offense and defense nearly perfectly. Venusaur's role expanded again in Generation 8 with Gigantamax. Gigantamax Venusaur's design amplified the flower on its back into a massive umbrella-like blossom, covering its entire body. Its special G-Max move, G-Max Vine Lash, inflicted residual damage over 4 turns, making it a formidable battlefield presence. This form was both visually stunning and strategically powerful, ensuring that Venusaur remained relevant decades after its debut. Across spin-off games, Venusaur appears in titles such as Pokémon Stadium, Pokémon Snap, Pokémon Mystery Dungeon, and Pokémon Unite. In Unite, Venusaur plays as a ranged attacker, capable of dealing sustained damage with moves like Solar Beam and Giga Drain, echoing its traditional role as a balance of offense and sustain. Ultimately, Venusaur's legacy in the games is one of consistency. While not always the flashiest Pokémon, it has stood the test of time as a reliable and beloved partner. From being a starter evolution in 1996 to wielding Mega and Gigantamax forms in modern titles, Venusaur proves its adaptability and importance to the Pokémon franchise. Venusaur's impact extends far beyond games and anime. It has become a cultural icon recognized by fans worldwide. As the final form of the very first Pokédex entry line, Venusaur carries symbolic weight. It represents not only the conclusion of the Bulbasaur evolutionary journey, but also the growth of the Pokémon franchise itself. In merchandise, Venusaur has appeared on countless trading cards since the earliest days of the Pokémon trading card game, TCG. The original base set Venusaur card remains one of the most nostalgic and iconic TCG cards ever printed, rivaled only by Charizard and Blastoise. Its striking artwork and status as the Grass-type powerhouse made it highly collectible. Over the years, Venusaur has continued to receive new TCG versions, including EX, GX, and VMAX forms, each showcasing its enduring popularity. Venusaur has also featured prominently in Pokémon merchandise such as plush toys, figures, and promotional artwork. In Japan, Venusaur often appears in campaigns tied to nature and environmental awareness, thanks to its strong thematic connection to plants and ecosystems. This has given Venusaur a reputation not just as a battle creature, but as a symbol of harmony with nature. In competitive Pokémon, Venusaur has maintained relevance in almost every generation. Mega Venusaur became a staple of competitive teams, while Sun-based teams in later games used Venusaur's chlorophyll ability to outspeed opponents under harsh sunlight. This versatility made it a fan favorite for trainers seeking both strength and strategy. Culturally, Venusaur is often overshadowed by Charizard, who became the face of Kanto starters due to its dragon-like appearance and fiery nature. However, Venusaur's fan base is dedicated and passionate, often emphasizing that its design, while less flashy, embodies the essence of Pokémon's blend between animals and fantasy creatures. Its giant flower and dinosaur-like body resonate with those who appreciate the balance between strength and natural beauty. Even today, Venusaur remains a fixture in modern Pokémon media. Whether through remakes like Let's Go, Pikachu, Eevee, mobile titles such as Pokémon Go, or anime reappearances, Venusaur continues to captivate both new and veteran fans. Its lasting presence across nearly 3 decades demonstrates its importance as one of the pillars of the franchise. In the end, Venusaur represents growth, resilience, and the power of nature. From its humble beginnings as Bulbasaur to its final evolution, Venusaur has become much more than just a starter Pokémon. It is a legend of the series, a symbol of the franchise's roots, and a reminder of how Pokémon has grown alongside its fans.